There is a new breed of business owner entering this industry. These are strategic, intelligent people choosing this industry deliberately. Competition is highest for lazy business owners. And when they look at the competition, they're not intimidated. If you think the pressure washing market is oversaturated, you've already lost. And I'm serious here. The second that thought enters your brain and you accept it as truth, you're done. You've given yourself permission to fail. You've got your excuse ready to go, and you're willing to accept that. Every single day, I see it in the Facebook groups. Some guy posts a picture of a truck with a pressure washer in the back, and they say something like, "See this? Fourth one I've seen today," or "The market's completely destroyed." And then the pile-on starts. 50 guys jumping in. "Yeah, bro, it's brutal. I can't get any calls anymore. Customers aren't even calling me. Race to the bottom out there." And here's what I need you to understand. Oversaturation is a complete myth. It's a lie that average business owners tell themselves so they don't have to take responsibility for being average. And I'm looking to prove it to you in the next 12 minutes. So stick with me because I think you're going to agree with me when this is all said and done. But more than that, I'm going to show you what's actually changing in this industry because something big is shifting, just not what the idiots in the Facebook groups are talking about. So let's use logic for a second instead of feelings, okay? Are there more people starting pressure washing businesses now than 5 years ago? 10 years ago? The answer is no. The same number of people are starting businesses, and the same number of guys are crying about it online. That has not changed at all. What's changed is you see it more. Social media amplifies everything. Every guy with a phone can broadcast his failure publicly instead of just complaining at his kitchen table. But the actual numbers, not dramatically different. And here's what also hasn't changed. 80% of new businesses, they fail. That's been true for decades. 8 out of 10. So all these guys flooding the market, 8 of them won't exist in a year or two. They're not competition, they're tourists. They realize that this is actual work and they're gonna quit. And you know how I know most of these guys aren't serious? Look at how they operate. They're tracking jobs on napkins. They're sending estimates through text messages. They're forgetting to follow up with their leads. They can't tell you their close rate. They don't know what the average job value is for their business. They've got no clue which marketing channels are actually generating leads for them. Meanwhile, guys that are building real businesses are running real systems. They are using CRMs. They know exactly where every lead came from, what their conversion rate is, what's actually profitable for them, right? And obviously, I'm biased here. I built Quote IQ specifically for this industry because I watched guys and myself leave money on the table with amateur operations. But whether you use my platform or somebody else's overpriced, integrated heavy platform, if you're not systemized, you're not serious. You're just playing businessman, and players get beat by professionals. So here is what nobody wants to say out loud. Competition is highest for lazy business owners. Now I want you to let that sink in. If you're competing on price, yeah, you've got brutal competition. If your website looks like it was built in 2003, you've got competition. If your marketing strategy is to post in Facebook groups and rely on word of mouth and just pray people call you, competition is gonna crush you. But that's not an oversaturation problem. That's a you problem. I've been in this industry for like 20 years, right? I built multiple businesses. I've sold the businesses. I've kept some of them. I've trained thousands of people with our programs. Here's what I know for certain. Average businesses, they are everywhere. They always have been, and they always will be. The vast majority of your competition is average at best. Their websites, they're garbage. Their branding, non-existent. Their marketing is amateur hour. They don't answer their phones. They show up late. They don't communicate with their customers, and they never follow up. That's your competition. That's who you're competing against. That's who you're complaining about. That's who you're bitching about in Facebook groups. And you know what that makes you look like? A fucking moron. And that's what keeps you awake at night. I talked to a guy last month, told me that he couldn't get a job. Business was dying, market was saturated, he was gonna sell his equipment, probably lose his truck. I pulled up his business Google profile. He has 0 reviews. His website didn't even have his phone number above the fold. I had to scroll to find it. No reviews on the site either. No before and after pics, nothing. It was terrible. That's not oversaturation, that's self-sabotage. When customers look at most pressure washing businesses, do you know what they see? If you're honest with yourself, I think you do. Dudes in trucks who spray stuff, right? No differentiation, no professionalism, no reason to pick one over the other except who's the cheapest. Now, if you're in that bucket, and probably some of you guys that are watching this are, yeah, you're fighting for scraps with everybody else in that bucket, but you don't have to be in that bucket. And I need to call something out because it's killing people. These Facebook groups, they're supposed to be helpful, places to share knowledge, build each other up, learn from guys who have been there. But instead, you know what I'm talking about. They become complaint factories. Every single day, same garbage. Somebody's whining about lowballers. Somebody's posting pictures of bad work. Somebody's crying about a lost job to the $99 guy. Somebody is blaming customers. It's constant. Then, do you know what happens then? Everyone validates the negativity. Go and look at these groups. Look at your comments. Think before you post. Everyone agrees that it's impossible. Everyone feels better about their own failure because, hey, at least I'm not alone. You want to know what successful operators do while you're doom scrolling? They're working. They're getting better. They're learning how to market their businesses better. They're building out systems. They're following up with customers. They're closing jobs. Every minute that you spend complaining is a minute you could spend improving. Every hour you spend taking pictures of somebody else's shoddy work or videoing somebody from around the corner because they're using the wrong tip, it's not doing you any good, right? You could be perfecting your business. Every day you spend arguing in the comments section is a day you could spend learning something that actually is going to benefit you and help you make more money. The negativity, it's contagious. It affects your mindset, and your mindset determines everything about who you are and how you're going to operate just in life in general. So stop marinating in other people's failures. It's not helping you, and it's just poisoning you. So let's talk about the new breed of guys that are coming into this business. And here's what's actually changing, right? This is the change, what's going on new. So pay attention because this is what really matters. There is a new breed of business owner entering this industry, and they are completely different. These aren't people who got into pressure washing because they had no other options. These aren't guys who couldn't hold down a job. These aren't people who had, a couple $100 and figured they'd buy a washer and just figure it all out. No, these are strategic, intelligent people choosing this industry deliberately. And that probably scares a lot of people that might be watching this, because they're coming after you. They see what's happening. AI taking over white-collar jobs, tech layoffs everywhere, corporate instability. They see that working for somebody else isn't going to give them the future that they want or they dreamed about or they, thought about when they were little kids. And they're smart enough to ask, what can't be outsourced? What can't be automated? What will always be needed? And that is home services, field services, the trades. These people, they're betting on themselves. And when they look at the competition, they're not intimidated. Why? Because they see exactly what I just told you. A bunch of half-assed businesses with terrible marketing, no branding, zero systems, amateur everything. Even though in their heads, they think that they're big timers and they're out there, being big timers. They look at that and they say, I can absolutely decimate these guys. This isn't competition. This is an opportunity. And they're coming in with capital. They're coming in with business knowledge. They're willing to learn. They're willing to invest. They're willing to build real brands. And these are the 10%ers, the ones who aren't going to quit when things get hard. These are the guys that can see the long game. A lot of guys that are constantly complaining, they had no choice but to get into this. No startup capital, couldn't take direction from a boss, maybe bad luck, maybe bad decisions, whatever. But these new guys, they're choosing this. They're looking at your market and they're saying, yeah, there's businesses out there, but they're not very good and I can be better. And here's the thing. In a lot of cases, I don't think they're wrong. And if you're honest with yourself, you've seen your competition out there. You see what you're up against. They're not wrong. So you've got a choice here. You can sit in Facebook groups complaining about oversaturation, blame the market, blame lowballers, blame the economy, blame whoever you want. Or you can take a long, hard look in the mirror and ask, am I mediocre? Am I average? Is my business average? Is my marketing lazy? Is my customer service forgettable? Is my follow-up non-existent? Am I just another dude in a truck spraying stuff? And if you answered yes to just one of those, then you're right. Competition is brutal for you. Your market is oversaturated, but that's not the market's fault. That's your fault. And you can fix it. It's simple. Work harder and get better. Stop making excuses. Invest in your business. Learn marketing. Build systems. Create a brand that actually means something in your market. Answer your phone. Show up on time. Communicate. And follow up. Following up is huge. Get reviews. We built the review multiplier and quote IQ. And then build relationships. Do what average businesses don't do. And here's what else smart guys are doing. They're not just doing one service. They're adding complementary revenue streams, soft washing, Christmas lights, seal coating, line striping, roof cleaning, because when you are diverse, then you're not seasonal. You're not dependent on one thing in particular. You're building a real company. You're not just a dude out there doing a thing, right? You're building a company. And that's why we build out training programs for a bunch of these different services for guys who want to add 50 grand, 150 grand in revenue by offering what others don't in their market. We've got you covered, right? And right now, everything is 50% off. I put a link to the resource page down below. Check it out, but only if you're serious. Only if you're done complaining, you're done bitching, and you're actually ready to build your business. Because here's the truth. There's plenty of room at the top. Plenty of room for businesses that actually give a damn. Plenty of room for operators that are willing to put in the work, that are willing to invest in their business, that know what they want and they're going to go after it. The market is not saturated. The bottom is just overcrowded. So stop fighting for scraps down there. Stop competing with tourists who's going to be gone in 6 months. Stop worrying about the guy who can't even price a job correctly. It doesn't matter what he's doing. Get him out of your head. Elevate yourself, elevate your business, right? Join the new breed who see this for what it is. This is the biggest opportunity in a generation. The pressure washing industry is changing. Home services are changing. The trades are changing, not because there's too many people, because a new standard is being set. Are you going to be part of that new standard, or are you going to get left behind complaining about it? So the choice is yours. There is links below if you're ready to level up. And I hope you like the video and subscribe and do all that shit you're supposed to do. If not, whatever.